Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Carson, your host. Excited to be here today. And today's episode is one that I'm didn't expect to record. We're calling this episode the Quit Praying, Start Doing episode. Now, I've spoken to thousands and thousands and thousands of investors. I've spoken in front of investment clubs. I've spoken on cruises. I've spoken in front of big conventions, spoken at conventions. And of course, all of you that listen to this show, all the millions of listeners on this podcast, whether it's the 8 radio stations or the YouTube channel or the different podcasting platforms out there. First and foremost, as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. But even more so, thank you to those that reach out. Thank you to those that actually take action and start doing. And this morning, I woke up sitting there. For those that don't know my morning schedule, I usually, I wake up. Alarm goes up about 7:30. Get up. You do what you do when you get up first thing in the morning. Stretch out a little bit. Sometimes I'll crawl back into bed. It was kind of cold this morning, so I kind of crawled back into bed, get a little warm again. And my phone rang. Well, my phone rang. It beeped. And I was like, who the heck is texting me this morning? And I was kind of amazed. I got a text message from a student, an older student, from somebody who I actually had spoken with them for years ago. Where is it? Here it is. From somebody I spoke to, and we're just going to call her Mrs. K. All right. And this is the text message that I got. This is, good morning, Mr. Scott. I went to one of your seminars in 2013 and received your course. I didn't do anything with it then, but I've been praying and asking God for an opportunity. I was reminded of that course. I've been watching your videos and podcasts. And I really want to do this business. I have the time because I'm a stay-at-home mom, but don't have the financial resources. I wanted to ask you, how do you think I should go about start doing this business? Any advice that you can offer would be greatly appreciated. I'm a beginner in this and really can use some wise counsel. Now, I always love that when they quote me with counsel versus advice. It's always a great thing. So, Mrs. K, thank you for reaching out. Now, of course, I reached back out to her immediately. I said, good morning, Ms. K. Start reaching out to banks to get assets, start networking with others in your local meetup group where we met originally. Build you an email list and start sharing some of the deals you get in it and post to social media. She's like, okay, thanks. So then run them by your local, the guy in charge of your local real estate networking group. I know the guy. And she's like, oh, okay, great. And I go, quit praying, start doing, and with a smiley face. She goes, you are so right. Yes, sir. That's the guy in my group. And I did fill out my profile on LinkedIn. So Mrs. K, first and foremost, this episode is dedicated to you. This episode is dedicated to all the Mrs. K's out there, all the people that are struggling financially. And then I've been praying for something. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice here, a little bit of counsel. Quit praying, start doing. All right. I'm a big believer. I have a strong faith in God. I believe that we're all where we are because of the decisions that we have made along the way. It's nobody else's problem to be where we're at. It's because we made the decision to get married, or we made the decision to make that deal happen. We made the decision to do this or that. Those are all decisions that are made by us. Okay, only a few decisions that you haven't made are outside of your control. But for the most part, we are all in control of our own destiny. All right, and so I get this a lot. Now you think about it. It took six years for somebody to reach out to me. Wow. And honestly, like I just taught our one of our most recent virtual note buying workshops here 2 weekends ago, or last weekend, actually, now that I think about it. And only about 10% of people will do anything anyway. And that's a hard thing to swallow. Only truly, they say an average of 17% of people take action. That means you have an 83% failure rate, which is very scary and downright depressing and sad, right? So, Mrs. K, I understand where you're coming from. Like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I almost think I remember you, although I've spoken at that investment club a couple times over the years. But what I want to get at for all the Mrs. Ks or the Mr. Ks out there, if you really wanting to do something, go out and start taking action. And I don't care if it's tiddlywinks or wholesaling or apartments or mixed use or firsts or seconds or owner finance notes. The worst thing you can do is not to take action. You have to take action of some sort. And if you were listening to the podcast, you're listening to or watching the videos or listening to anything we talk about, it's a pretty similar formula for the most part. Start reaching out to banks. Start reaching out on LinkedIn. You know, you don't have to have a lot of experience, but at least say you've got some experience. You've been a real estate investor. You know, you've been interested in distressed real estate or been attended as an investor for years. This lady's got 6 years experience for attending stuff. Maybe not 6 years of taking action, but what I'm trying to get at, and I'm playing here, is I see this on a regular. I get an email from people one a day, once a week, sometimes once a day, just varies. People looking for an opportunity, people that don't have, are in a bad situation for a variety of reasons. They either chose not to go to school, or they chose to do something that's minimum wage, or it's not making any money. They're just focusing on the wrong things. And I think, as we had our good friend on a few weeks ago, Kim, talk about the fact that you attract what you focus. If you think about this, you attract exactly what you focus on. What's that mean? Well, if you're negative and focus on negativity, you'll attract more negativity. You'll be aware of more negative. It's like the whole thing. Like if you want to go buy a car, like when I was going to buy my black Dodge Ram pickup, I started seeing black Dodge Rams everywhere. Okay, when I thought I was going to buy a Range Rover, I started seeing Range Rovers everywhere. I'm glad I didn't buy a Range Rover, but that's the thing I'm trying to get at. You go out and drive a car, you're going to start seeing them everywhere because that's just how the world works. If you start focusing on cats, you'll see cats. You focus on dogs, you'll see more dogs. You focus on notes, you'll see more notes. But what a lot of people do is they don't put the work in. Now, the best time, you know, if you want to plant a tree, if you want more shade, you need to plant a tree today and nurse it by watering it and feeding it and giving it Miracle-Gro and trimming it, making sure it doesn't get mowed over as a new sapling. You've got to put the work in to see things grow. And unfortunately, most people don't have the patience. Now, if I think back to where I was in 2013, man, I was still traveling, speaking quite a bit, but I had wrapped up pretty much my nationwide roadshow for the most part, where I was on the road nonstop. Now I'd gone back out and spoke at this investment club and a few others because I knew the organizers. They were friends or they were students. I'm still good friends to this day. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you take action, where are you going to be in 6 years? I know we're coming to the end of 2019. We're into a new decade, and this episode will probably come out first part of 2020 on iTunes and our podcast. But what I'm trying to get at is taking action. You have to do something. Being scared of success, of being scared and just wanting, oh God, please help me. God helps those that help themselves. So what can you do? What are the things that you can be doing right now? Well, first and foremost, you need to look at your schedule. Look at your time. Now, if you've got a priority, Miss Kay's got a stay-at-home mom. Okay, great. What time how old are those kids? What times do you have during the day if the kids go away to school? You've got to maximize that time as best you can. And I'm not saying get distracted. You may need to turn the TV off. You may need to turn the radio off. You may need to eliminate distractions from you and start taking action. And by action, it's really easy to do. You can reach on LinkedIn. According, if you've got a free account, make sure you've got a complete profile. What does that mean by complete profile? It's filled out. Look at my profile if you need some ideas. Now, you're not going to obviously replicate everything. I got like 541 articles on there. But you can share some things. You see an interesting article on DS News or HousingWire.com. You can share that over. If you've done some fix and flips or got a rental or done some wholesale deals, you can start sharing those to your profile along with other social media places. Because that's the big thing. You can make contacts at banks easy enough. Just get on LinkedIn, type in special assets manager, secondary marketing manager, and start reaching out to people. I mean, I've had 4 people today from 60 that I did earlier in the week reach out to me today, said, yes, I'm the right person, or no, I'm not the right person, call this person. But I had to at least take the action to plant the seeds of that 60 to get the 4 to respond. It's the same thing with calling banks. Hey, if you've got 2 hours, 3 hours at home, pick up the phone, start dialing for dollars. Start tracking down special asset managers. LinkedIn is easy because you can do it any time of the day. So maybe you don't have 2 or 3 hours during the day. You've got it at night because you work a full-time job, or you're busy with your kids. You got to wait till your kids go to bed. Okay, great. Jump online and start networking. Start reaching out to people. Start joining some of the larger groups that are available on LinkedIn for free. I mean, heck, just look at my profile if you'd like to see some of the big real estate groups that I'm part of that we've been using to leverage to build audience that are driving traffic, that we're getting people to opt into things, okay? Most importantly, you have to realize and take responsibility for your actions. Like, if we've all got manuals and classes we've attended, and then we got bookshelves of manuals and workshops and things like that we tend to have dust growing on. And I know a lot of people that got a lot of dust growing on that cellophane because they've never taken it out of the wrapper. All right, I've been to when I go to conference and things and I see people walking out with these big binders, I sometimes think, like, what are they charging by the pound or the page? Look, it's a new world. It's the 21st century, everybody. You don't need huge workbooks. You don't need huge manuals. With the magic of YouTube, the magic of podcasts, there is so much information online for you to take advantage of, that if you just listen and start taking action and implementing what you learn. Now, are you going to learn everything in a podcast? No. Are you going to learn everything by YouTube videos? No, but you learn a lot to the point where you can start taking action. And then as things start to happen with bankers calling you or lists being sent to you, or you're finding other deals, I don't care what other type of deal it is, but starts happening to you, start reaching out to the people that are doing it. Start reaching out to the people that taught those workshops that you didn't do. Because if you find a deal, and Mrs. K or Mr. K, you find a note deal from a bank, hey, I'm glad to help you out with it. Okay. Now, if you're just listening to this and never taken a class or anything like that, don't call me and ask me all these weird questions, because I'm going to expect if I'm going to, in the years and the decades, God, it's hard to believe it's coming on 20 years as an investor now, of real estate that a lot of people have, a lot of experts have. There's a lot of experience. There's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of money that's going into coaching and us training and learning ourselves too. Hey, we're going to expect a little bit of investment from you, a little bit of time. Okay. Maybe spend a little bit of time. Yes, I know everybody is struggling financially and things like that, but I guarantee if there's a will, there's a way to find it. And I'm not talking about signing up for my class. I'm talking about signing up, raising capital, or join the local real estate club, because that's one of the most powerful tools you can have. Now, if you're in an area where you don't have very good real estate investment clubs, I'm sorry, because they do exist. I know of a city that I spent a lot of time in here that doesn't have any really good real estate clubs, or the club is not dictated towards the group, it's dictated towards the people that run the club. And we see that here in Austin, we see that here in another big club in San Antonio. So if I really wanted to go to real estate clubs, I would need to go to Houston or Dallas for some of the good ones that are out there that really are focused on the guests, or not the guests, but the people that are attending. I know where Mrs. K is a great group. It's got over 2,800 members on the online meetup group. So that's the thing. Look at your meetup groups. I know that you've got access to people online. You don't have to live in that area. And then, you know what? If you can't make it, okay, you can't make it to the event every month. But I would circle it. If you're going out at night and doing other things throughout the week or weekend, maybe it's time you hire a babysitter and go out and spend 2-3 hours networking with other local investors. And you know what? With real estate clubs, you're going to need to show up for a while. You're going to need to show up on a regular basis and network with people for 3 to 6 months before they start taking you serious. It is what it is. It's planting the seeds. It's taking the action. Those are the things that you have to do. And you know what? Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes people are very introverted. They're scared and don't know what the hell to say. And that's going to happen. But you know how you break that timidness? By going up and using the form method. Hey, where are you from? What do you do? What did you do for fun? Or did you do something fun this weekend? What are you doing for Christmas? And then get your message out. That's the easiest thing to break the ice with people. Where are you from? What do you do during the day? What did you do for fun this weekend? Or what are you doing for the holidays? Oh, great. They're often, when you ask that, they should often ask you back that. And then your message, oh, I'm a real estate investor. Or I'm focused on buying notes. Or I focus on raising capital for real estate projects. There's a variety of things you can say in that stuff. But the taking the action, the first thing you have to do, everybody, it's just start doing something. Just do anything. If you start doing anything, you'll start building that momentum. You'll start building, belief in oneself. I know a lot of us have probably been burned by investments or classes or deals or things like that. And I understand that. That happens to all of us. Sometimes of our own nature and sometimes not. Just stuff happens. It's the way the world works. I mean, somebody got hit by a bus today. He or she didn't do anything bad, but it happens. All right. And what I'm trying to get at is a lot of times we let life be that bus that runs us over. No, I'm not going to go to that event. No, I'll wait till January to go. I'm like, why wait till January? We had a coaching student in this week, and he said the same thing. I'm going to wait till January to go. And I wanted to hit him with a bat. I'm like, that's 3 weeks from now. You're going to wait for that momentum that we have these 2 days here, die out and not go to a meeting? Build some momentum. Take some action. Make some phone calls. And by all means, everybody gets distracted. Everybody hits these ruts. Everybody has issues. But the only way you can overcome them is by doing. Action solves it all. Action and showing up and being present in your day in, day out in your life versus really waiting for somebody to come along and save you. Look, nobody's coming along to save you. God is going to save you, everybody, by giving you the opportunities, by giving you the access to things. I mean, I've got students that started 6 years ago who are basically retired, basically stopped having buying notes because they got enough. They're waiting around for the market to take another big downturn. It doesn't mean you can't find deals today. You can. You can find deals today by just taking action, by networking, jumping online, joining groups, joining LinkedIn, and following through with what you see taking place. If you want to really, see what's going on, just follow the successful people out there. See what they're doing on a daily and day out basis. What are they doing? What have they done? How have they stuck with it? I think about another guy who reached out to me a few weeks ago. It's probably a couple months now. And he was going to start doing a daily video, daily blog on something about his real estate stuff. I was like, that's great. That's a phenomenal deal. But you have to realize when you start something, you got to finish it. He goes, what do you mean by that? You've got to stick with it. If you do 2, 3, 4 days of it and then stop, those that started to get some momentum going are just like, oh, he quit on another thing. She quit on another thing. So you got to stick with things. There are days that I don't want to do a podcast episode. I'm tired. I'm worn out. Sometimes I have a little bit of content block, but I still show up. I still think, what am I going to talk about today? What am I going to do today? What am I going to go through today? Part of the reason why I love getting comments and quotes back and text message back from people is I want them to succeed. Okay? I want them to succeed because, look, you can give all the excuses in the world. Oh, I'm not smart enough. I'm not rich enough. I don't have enough time. I'm the wrong color. I'm the wrong sex. Whatever. I'm too heavy. I'm too slow. Whatever. Okay? It's all about just showing up and taking action. Showing up, being present, and taking action will get you so much farther along than most people. And half the time just showing up is to be lucky. And I'll give you an example of something. Like a couple years ago, I was invited to come out to St. Louis and speak at the St. Louis Real Estate Expo. And I was like, okay, great, sure, let's do it. So we flew to St. Louis, and we're getting off the plane, and this ice storm is coming through. And it's January, remember, early February, and they expected to have 500 people at it, and they had like 100 people max over 2 days. And the big speaker is a guy that I learned from years ago, chose not to attend. The other big sponsor said he was going home. He wasn't going to be there for that small showing. So I showed up. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. Let's make the most of it. Let's make the best of the situation. Let's just be present. And so what happened is, instead of me having 1 hour long session, I ended up having 4 sessions throughout the 2 days. I dominated, had a great event. We had a lot of people sign up for our workshop because we were present. We showed up. I could have easily jumped on a plane and head back home and been upset or said, no, I'm only going to do one. I'm going to go hang out in my hotel room or do something else. I didn't look for an excuse. I showed up. And there are times that I need to do more of that too. In the last couple of years, we've gotten pretty comfortable with the online stuff, the online courses. And, I want to go out and speak more this year. I'll get back on the road and talk some more. I love the podcast, and we'll keep doing stuff. But there are some things that I know that I need to do to show up. I need to take my game to a next level. And that's where a lot of people out there have no level of game because they're just getting started. So if you do anything, you're going to exponentially start seeing things happen. You want to build an email database? Great. Go out there, start networking, start reaching out to people, start joining some of the big real estate clubs, asking questions on Facebook groups to connect with people. You can do so many things to start building momentum, but choosing not to do something is choosing failure. The only thing you guarantee by not trying is failure. Mrs. K, please take action. Please do something. I know you're capable of doing things because I've seen plenty of people do it. I know plenty of people have succeeded wherever, where you're located and other places. People who had less means to make things happen. And I say that to everybody that's listening to this episode. We all have means well beyond what we have, what we believe we have. We all have opportunities. We all have networks that we've never tapped into. We've all got relationships that are waiting for us to reach out to them and ask them. So I don't care what your money situation is. The things that I'm talking about, LinkedIn's a free. Facebook is free. Those big things are very, very, you just need to spend some time. You need to time block some things and make some phone calls. Those are the biggest things. And then when you get a listing, hey, you know what you do? Start pulling some photos of those assets. Sharing the photos online. Don't share the addresses, but sharing the photos. Hey, I'm working on this apartment deal. I'm working on this mixed use deal. I'm working on this single family deal. Would somebody be willing to help me? You know, that's the beauty of a network. That's the beauty. And meetup groups are free to do. They don't cost anything. I mean, you all could jump on here now and join a meetup, at least 1 or 2 meetups in most of the major cities across the country and be connected. I mean, if you just picked like the top 20, you'd be connected like 60,000 plus investors across the country. That's something you do. Go join a meetup group in San Francisco online. Do one in LA. Do one in San Diego, Orange County. There's 4. Phoenix is a big one. That's 5. Denver, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Colorado Springs or Boulder was going to also have some big ones. Salt Lake City is another big area. You could jump over to Minneapolis is a big group, and then come down from there, maybe hit Kansas City, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Hook 'em Horns, then New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Jackson, Mississippi, you know, hit Georgia there and Atlanta, and then hit Tampa and then or Jacksonville and West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, and cross to Naples and up to Tampa and Orlando, and then go back up the coast to Charlotte, in South Carolina or Charlotte there, and go up to there to Washington, D.C., all right, Baltimore, Arlington, Virginia, Philadelphia, Newark, New York City, all right, Boston, all right, jump across to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Columbus. There's so many places to go. You could pick out the top biggest cities out there and join a group in those areas. And then as you get deals in, start posting some of those places. Reach out to their message boards. I mean, we're literally just a few clicks of your computer from being able to connect with millions of investors. But what happens is most of us get bombarded because we don't know where to begin. We don't know where to start. We're scared. We're scared of success. We're scared of money. You know, you got to work a little bit on yourself. Maybe you need to dress a little differently. Maybe you need to speak a little bit differently. Maybe you just need to take the time to realize, hey, I need to act a little bit better than what I am. I've seen this happen. People come in, they just don't know any better, or they do know better, but they act below where they need to be. If you want to grow into $100,000 a year income, you got to start acting like you're making $100,000 a year. If you want to make 7 figures, $1 million, you need to up your mind. You need to start reading. Turn the phone off. Turn the phone off. Turn the computer games off. Start taking action. Start carving out 2 hours a night to go do something. If you're spending more time out at the bars at the week than working on your business, then we've got issues. If you're spending more time playing video games than working on your business, we got some issues. I had a good friend who Wanted to do real estate, but he didn't want to do the work. He was lazy, complained about other things, barely got by. He was very comfort. He had a comfort zone that was strangling him. And for a lot of people out there, that's what's happening. We are in a comfort zone that is strangling our creativity, our productivity, and our futures. We all, and by all, I throw myself in that same circle. We all can be doing more. We all could be doing a lot more with our businesses, and with our families, and with our focus to be doing bigger and better things. In 2020, great. That can be the year they do it. You know what? Don't wait. Start now. Don't put off to the end of the year. Don't put off to next year. Don't put off till such and such. I'm going to do this when such and such. Like I had a class. Somebody called me up, and I'm like, I don't know why he called me. He called to tell me that he was too busy to be focused on the no business. I'm like, okay, I don't give a rat's ass. You know? And one thing, it's like, I've got this big buyer a couple of years ago. He wants $20 million a month. I'm like, nobody wants $20 million a month in notes. If they do, they're not going to waste their time talking to you. They're sure as they're not going to waste their time talking to me. You know what you can do? Quit worrying about trying to land this and make your 1%. Go close some deals yourself. Go make some things happen for yourself. And how you make things happen? This little thing, what I'm talking to this thing on, this computer and your cell phone. That's all you really need in today's world to be an entrepreneur. And it doesn't matter where you're in Austin, Texas, Baton Rouge, Minneapolis, New York City, San Francisco. I don't care. It could be Timbuktu. It could be all the way down to, I don't care, San Juan, Berlin, or Barcelona. The thing you have to realize, everybody, you can close deals from anywhere if you just take action. You put a network together, start networking, start reaching out, putting some simple things in place on a regular basis, you get rock and rolling. One of the easiest things that everybody could do at night is jump on LinkedIn, type in special assets, secondary market managers, and reach out and make 100 connections tonight. Reach out and connect with them and ask them if they're the right person at their bank. Now, you may need to do it 2 nights, 3 nights in a row. But the minute you get one connection, one person in the back, it makes all the rest of the no's, all the rest of the action you take it worthwhile to get that one yes, to get that one listed. Because it should start building faith like this does work. It's just a numbers game. It is just a numbers game, everybody. And the sooner you realize that it's not going, everybody's going to follow over, give you all their deals with one phone call, one connection, one contact, one email, the better off you'll be. Realize it's going to take you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 50, 70 times of doing something before you start taking. Think about how many times it took you to ride a bike to get on the bike, even with training wheels or with no training wheels. How many times you fall off? How many times you get started and fall off? Only have to get back on that horse to do it. Maybe you have started careers in the first month or so, you were like a fish out of water. You sucked. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the world. Welcome to life. All right? And this is why the most important thing I want to share with you guys is here. God has given you the skills to succeed. Quit praying for him. He's already answered. If you can talk and you can see and you got all your appendages, you're not a quadriplegic, you're not sick, you can do things. He's already answered your prayers. Your answer is you. Your answer is to take action. Now, I'm a big believer the devil likes to try to, put a filter on us. They like to keep us distracted so we can't be focused on things. But, he succeeds. He gets us distracted. So we aren't successful. So we don't take action. So we waste our time and our energy and our health and our youth on stupid things we shouldn't have done or be doing. All right. When people grow up, they put away their childish toys and start taking action. I know a lot of grown adults that are still playing with their childish toys. Steph always like to ask me, well, what the hell am I going to get you for Christmas? You got everything you need. Yeah, I'm a pretty simple guy. If I want something, I go get it. But I'm not one of these big flashy guys. I like my 5-year-old truck. It drives great. I only got like 43,000 miles on it. All right. I like to read. I like to market. Okay. I don't need a big 70-inch TV. What the thing is the most liberating thing that you can have is the peace to be oneself. Be comfort in your own skin. And that's a big thing that I've always been comfortable. I take that back. Maybe not all the time, but it's been a thing where I am what I am, everybody. You are who you are. Now, are you who you're going to be in 5 years? No. Are you who you're going to be in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years? No. It's up to you to be who you want to be. It's up to you to change your situation. It's up to you and nobody else to make things happen. Maybe you don't have a big enough why. Look, there's a lot of reasons people don't take action. Knowledge, sickness, things happening. I get it. But you have to quit using the fact that, oh, I don't have time or I don't have the financial resources as excuse of why you haven't found any success. I was talking to a guy the other night, successful realtor, doing some big things, but he kept giving excuses why he couldn't succeed. And the biggest reason, I can tell you the reason he can succeed, is because he was focused on too many things. Oh, I'm doing this with IRA companies. I'm doing this with apartment guru. I got another fix and flipper guru. I was like, you got too many gurus and not enough work. He goes, what do you mean by that? Like, you've got too many people in your ears telling you what ear is, so you run all over. You don't have anything to plant the seed. I'm like, you'd be a horrible note investor. And he was like, shocked. What do you mean? I'm like, first and foremost, if you came to me and said you were doing this, this, and this, I say, don't waste your time with this. If you're out chasing 4 rabbits, you're never going to catch any of them. You'll never be good at any one of them. And I no wonder your wife is mad because you've bought too many courses not to take any type of action. So I challenge everybody out there. I challenge you to look at where you're at. Are you chasing too many rabbits? Are you struggling? Are you celebrating the New Year's because 2019 is going to be is ending and dying, and you're going to have a new year, a new outlook? Well, if you don't change the activities that you're doing, you're not going to have any success. I've got a good friend who's throwing a big New Year's Eve party here in Austin, Texas, and trying to do a fantastic job. And that's one of the big things. Like, oh, 2019 was horrible. I'm so glad for it to end, and what the new year has to bring. And Steph and I were talking like, they're not going to have any different year in 2020 because they're not changing their actions. They're not changing their activities. They're still doing the same old things they were doing 2 years ago that was struggling, versus sitting down, planting their flag, and going forward and just doing what needs to be done. Sometimes you can't do the fun things because you've got to do the things you got to do. The gotta do's, not the honeydews, the gotta do's, the bigger rocks. Sometimes you can put the big rocks off for a few days or a few months, but eventually the big rocks are going to come back and stub your toe or stub your shin or fall on your head. We've all had this happen. God knows I've had it happen. So you can sit around and wait for life to change, the world to change, or you can go change you and your world. I think changing your world as a whole, changing you and your world is a whole lot better than the world changing. What I mean by that? Well, look, if you want to change your environment, go do something. If you want to change the money you make, go hang around people that are making money. If you want to change on closing more deals, go hang around people that are closing deals. You either will adapt and change your environment, change your world to start doing those same things and seeing what they're doing and how they're speaking and what they're saying, what their actions are, or you'll get, I don't want to do that. I'm too lazy, and go back home and let the world dictate to you what you should do. That's the wrong way of doing things. So I want you all to go out and make some things happen. I want you to go out and do things. You are all capable of doing amazing things. It's just up to you whether you want to say yes to success or just say, I'm comfortable. So Mrs. K, this episode for you, I have nothing but full belief and faith in you. Take this action, go do some things. You've got an amazing network that surrounds you already. You get a deal in, a listing, give me a phone call, shoot me a text message, shoot me an email. I'm glad to spend some time with you and help you get things rocking and rolling for you. But otherwise, everybody, go out, take some actions, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.